I do think, like, whatever happened to our kind of concern for humanity, and, you know, I don't think we should be comfortable with anyone living beneath or without their basic needs being met. And, you know,
what she's saying is who pays to meet their basic needs.
Yeah, and I do think the UK should help out. I do, definitely, because I completely agree with her that we do make it easy for them, but we also should be concerned with the fact that they are already here. People are saying that if we start providing for them, then it's going to encourage more people to come. That's the problem that needs to be dealt with, you know, dealing with the people at the borders. But the people that are already here, I think we should look after them. You know, it's...
But there will be people, Jamila, who say, you know, we absolutely applaud the way that you feel about people and their human rights and, you know, treating people humanely. Yeah. But there comes a point where you say, we are a small island, we're a small country with a, you know, we don't have a budget that would just allow... With major problems of our own, of unemployment and homelessness.
And, of course.
You know, unemployment's gone down. Yeah, unemployment's dropped all the time, so that's not a very good argument. The fact of the matter is, you're talking about these people as if they're not people. A huge proportion of the British population are immigrants and are refugees. And we've got politicians, architects, Sigmund Freud, we've got, you know, you think of all the people who have contributed to British society who arrived here fleeing from somewhere else, and now you've suddenly decided that the latest lot, we don't want them, as if they're not people. So it's easier to talk about them as if they're not human beings. And by the way, 360,000 to put a toilet, you know, a few toilets in a block is less than the cost of building a shed or something in, you know, a town centre. It's hardly a major expenditure. 360,000 wouldn't even buy your 2 up, 2 down in London, so, you know...
But if it doesn't stop, so I think everybody...
It's not going to stop.
Nobody looks at those pictures. It's like the migrants and the boats that we see.
It's not going to stop, so
So what do we do, Janet? Where does the money come from?
We help them. We become concerned with their plight. A lot of these people are escaping from awful situations, and, you know, they want asylum in the country, and I understand that it's causing a problem, particularly in Calais, but this is where everyone else should help. This is where everyone else should try and relieve the burden that they're suffering with at the moment.
I just think that we keep talking about now as if this hasn't happened in the past, but Britain took in hundreds of thousands of Asians from Kenya and Uganda. During the Berlin Wall has only been down 26 years, and when the Berlin Wall was up in the 60s, 200 people died trying to escape from communist Russia. Do we want to go back to that? Because we have gone back to that, that people are fleeing regimes which are repressive. We're not talking... These people who are in Calais include professional people. You can't just demonise them and place them all in a basket of, you know, illiterate, uneducated people. We're going to find within those people in Calais are people that could contribute to Britain. And I think that we need to go there and cherry pick.
That you can't say, well, we'll take the intelligent ones because they will contribute to our economy and they will get work. There'll be lots of people...
What about the basics? What about we can't just leave people starving and suffering?
I totally get where you come from, and I do totally agree. And like I said, I definitely couldn't be the one that would say you're not coming in, because my heart breaks at every one of those photos that I see, and the pain and suffering on their faces.
See the two guys that hid in the aeroplane where the wheels
desperation. You can't imagine in life being that desperate. But on the other hand, I think what you're trying to say, and I think what a lot of people want to say, if we had the room and we had, you know, we could offer them everything, of course we'd let them in. But I think the scary thing is where does it stop, and how can we control it?
All right, Colleen, do we do what Australia is doing, is turn the boats round in the Mediterranean, send them back and just dump them somewhere else? Because that's what Australia is doing.
But there are people that would say
that. Janet, that's what I'm saying. I agree with you, but what do we do? We haven't got enough room.
I don't think that ultimately you can create a fortress around Britain. Just as the Berlin Wall came down, so the Channel is not the Berlin Wall. It's not. We don't have cast iron borders. We will always have people coming in.
And we have people coming in. But what I'm saying is, how many? Where does it stop? How many can can we take, and how do we
But also
solve
there are
it?
3,000 migrants in Calais at the moment. If you think about the whole of Europe, if they were to be distributed, it's not that many people. We can
but
help.
I think
we are
that's
capable
what the
of
mayor of
helping, and
Calais
that's
is
the
saying.
problem.
They're not being distributed. They want to come to Britain, and she says we have this cushy benefit system that allows that. So I think if they were spreading around Europe, it just seems they all want to come here.
David Cameron's already announced that he's reforming the benefit system, so people who arrive here will not be able to claim benefits for, I believe it's going to be 2 years. So that message will filter out.
But then what do they do?
You can't stop people fleeing a repressive regime.
No, you can't, and I agree with you. And if we all lived in a repressive regime, I'm sure we'd all want to flee. And
well, just as people fled, communist Russia, it's no different.
But if the benefit system is going to be reformed, and we saw those pictures of the farmer who finds these people in his fields every other day. Where do they go? If in the future you say, well, I'm sorry, but you can't, we're not giving you benefits, what do they do? Then they live off the land, they're living in fields.
These camps are actually a good idea, that they are, their basic needs are being met.